welcome to the Rose Rehash. Every Monday night after The Bachelor, I come on YouTube to recap the show, give out awards, and tonight I'm going to be answering your questions. So all you have to do is you got to subscribe to the page. Hit that subscribe button. Let me know that you love this show. Also, comment. Put your comments down there. Let me know if you agree with me. Let me know if you disagree with me, what your take is. I would love that. Also, at the end of the show, I'm going to be answering your questions. If you have a question, hashtag Ask Jared, and we'll pick it up, and we'll pick a few for the end of the show. So, hashtag Ask Jared if it's a question, and then any other comment, just leave it down low, and just let me know what you think about this episode, this recap. Also, I'm doing a virtual show, Valentine's Day virtual show. That's right. Go to my website to get tickets. It's $12 a ticket. They're going to go up to 15, so get them now while they're $12. I have a special guest, and I'm going to be giving dating app makeovers. I'm going to be making fun of Valentine's Day. It's the perfect date night for you and your beau, or for you and a friend, and just a great night altogether. All the live virtual shows have been a blast. It's on February 9th. JaredFreid.com. Let's get to the recap. Tonight's episode, I call it the Bully Purge. That is the name of tonight's episode because Matt James, at the end of last week, was made aware that there is bullying going on in the house. Now, it is my belief that these seasons belong to the lead character. I do believe if this is a study of human interactions, the producers are adding in new people and making new events. They're putting together the dates. But it is truly Matt James's season. And we see this every season where they have to take control of the house. If someone's a jerk and they like them, they're going to stay. So it's Matt James's job to become aware of these things and then take care of the house, because he even says, I want my house to be a safe space. I want everyone to feel comfortable. And it's like, okay, that's what's going on here. So Matt James becomes aware that there's a problem in the house. There's bad tension. The new people are getting called, the newbies, and we got the OGs, and there's this, there's this sorority house vibe going on where there's pledges and there's seniors, and it's really some sort of fucked up imaginative line of delineation between who deserves time and who doesn't, because who's been on the show longer based on nothing. So Matt James we start the episode with Kit and Victoria walking outside, and then they walk by two of the new girls, and they don't even talk. Like, that tells me everything. And it's not like, and first of all, we all want to put this on Victoria, but Kit's next to Victoria. They can't go, hey, how you been? Good to see you. Like, if you walk by someone, if I walk by a stranger, I give a little nod, a little friendly nod. If you walk by someone even if you walk by someone you haven't seen since high school, you don't know their name, you go, hey man, dude, bro, cool, girl, you make up something. They don't even say hello to them, and that should tell you everything. And Victoria even creates this world where she goes, they're disgusting. Ugh, I hate them so much. It's like, what do you hate? What do you hate about them? That they showed up late and they ruined your idea of how this should go? It's not your show. So we go to the rose ceremony. Matt James lets them know that he's heard rumors, and all of a sudden, he has heard rumors are being started by people in the house. All of a sudden, Anna's eyes, I didn't think they could get wider. They went even wider. She was like, what? All of a sudden, she was like, I'm gone. I'm toast. I'm the rumor starter. And all of a sudden, Anna's sitting there going, yeah, I made a mistake. And I think on the show, a normal person acts how they are and then realizes, oh shit, there's cameras here, and then has to walk it back for their post-show life. And I think that's what Anna started doing. Anna's like, I don't know. I might have started some bad rumors. Like, all of a sudden, she's at fault. And she takes MJ around the corner, and it's almost like they're discussing, like, Okay, what kind of stories should we create to make sure that we're not bullies? And that's disingenuous to me. Like, if you're going to be a bully, be the fucking bully. Be the person that's like, yeah, I'm here to fucking win you. I don't give a shit about all these other people. Get them the fuck out of my face. Like, but they didn't do that. And it's like, I'm just so sorry. I made a mistake. And it's like, no. I just I let that comment drop. No, you didn't. You literally said to someone to their face, you are an escort. And I heard from other people. That's not like, oh, I misused some words. So how did you misuse words? So Matt James pulls Anna aside and he's like, listen, I don't think you're I love the way Matt James did it. Loved it. He looked at her, he goes, and because he's right. She's not a bad person, but she made a mistake. And because of that mistake, we're not going to date anymore. So she says that to Anna, leads her outside, and all the women are like, oh my God, there's consequences for our actions. At this moment, it tells you that everyone in the house was taking part of this. We want to believe it was just Victoria. No, because when Matt James kicks Anna out, all of a sudden Kit's like, hey, I'm sorry for that time that I looked at you the wrong way. And other people were like, I'm sorry for that time that I said your shoes look nice. I should have said they look beautiful, but in a feminist, yes, all women type of way. Like, all of a sudden their stories start to change. All of a sudden the apology train starts rolling. So it's like, so it's hard to believe. And even some of the contestants on the show, they're like, yeah, they're all of a sudden, everyone's apologizing for everything. Even Victoria's like, hey, Catalina, I'm sorry for ripping the crown off your head. That was a joke. It's like, that was a joke. That was a joke. You took my crown off my head. You touched me. You physically touched me. What kind of joke has me going home different than I came in? What kind of joke has my outfit ruined? So Matt James pulls all these people aside, and at one point he pulls aside Victoria. And one time Ryan pulls him aside and tells him that Victoria is another person you should be on the watch out for, because she's made this kind of an unlivable situation. And she called me a hoe because I was a dancer, which is like, what a shitty thing to say to someone. Yeah, you make a living dancing, and all of a sudden, just because you danced, it's a hoe. Like, I don't even understand. Who even uses that word anymore? What are you, in 5th grade? What's going on here? So Matt James pulls Victoria aside and is like, hey, I heard you called someone a hoe. And she's like, that's out of context. And he's like, what's the context? And he asks a great question. What is the context that you call someone a hoe and it is meant to uplift them? Someone wrote a comment just now. It's all a joke until you get called out. That's kind of what's happened on this show all along. That's why they were quick to apologize the minute they saw there was consequences. Because all of a sudden they're like, it was a joke. And it's like, at one point, like, I don't know where was the laugh and you're a hoe? What's the setup? What's the punchline? I don't even get it. Like, at least if it was a setup punchline, I'd be like, okay, they tried for a joke. You're a hoe is not a joke. That's just not even in joke structure. So we go to the rose ceremony, and Victoria does not get a rose. Everyone at home, everyone on the show, we all react like the Wicked Witch just died. We're like, ding dong, the witch is dead, the Wicked Witch is dead, Victoria is gone, we don't have to see her sty. And it's like, we're all kind of happy she's going. And you would think, I think you learn the most about someone on the way out, when they have nothing to gain. And Victoria sits there and she says, I hope Victoria leaves, and she says, the hearsay, I can't believe you listen to the hearsay and not the facts, which is Victoria basically saying, you didn't believe me, the facts says I know them. And it's like, yeah, Victoria on the way out was just as awful as she was, and Matt sees it for himself. Now Matt gets to see what she was actually like, and I do believe Matt took control of his season tonight. And it's not the producer's responsibility. This is a social, experiment. And Matt James was made aware, and he went in and he said, I'm not going to have this place be uncomfortable for anyone. So he gets rid of Victoria, and now she's gone. And, there's a lot, Chris Harrison comes down to the girls the next day, and they're like, we hope this is a change for the better. And it's like, we'll see. I don't buy it. I don't think Victoria's the only one that was talking shit. Just like we had Anna all of a sudden. Victoria's walking next to Kit. Kit is not saying hello when she's walking by. they're all apologizing. At this point, Victoria is not the only one doing this but it's easy to make that the belief. It's easy to excuse everyone by going, well, Victoria's gone. I guess we're all fine now. We're all best friends. Maybe not. So now we go to a Rachel's going to get a one-on-one date. Now, Rachel, her one-on-one date is the Cinderella makeover date. They're going to have Beyonce's stylist, dresser, and she's going to be treated like a queen for a day. And they have champagne, and then they end up going, and then she comes back to the house with 30 bags, and she's like, hi, everybody. And it's like, here's a test of how BFF everyone is. She walks in with all the bags. They weren't all like, ooh, fashion show. They're like, oh, cool, guess you got a lot of shit. Like, none of them react, like, happy for her. This isn't new. Victoria's gone, and the same eye rolls stick around. She comes in with 6 bags under each arm, like, look at how good a day I had. They're like, yeah, cool. Nice. Are those red on the bottom of your shoes? Louis Vuittons? Okay, cool. Hope they fit. And it's like, yeah, this is going to be a constant story this whole season. This house don't get along. They all want Matt James. They're there for the right reasons. I guess, like, this season, more than any other season, they are there for this guy, and it's turning into dividing everyone out in the house apart. So Rachel goes up, gets changed for her date. She puts on some blue monstrosity of a dress that Matt James got for her, and then they go on the date, and basically their date's fine, but you can tell that, it is my opinion that these two have a sexual chemistry that has been from day one. And it's one of those things where they made eye contact and they were like, we both want to be naked together. I just get that vibe from them. Even because last week we had Michelle's date, which Michelle's date felt very much wholesome, and these two, like, get each other at another level. They're having real conversations that you don't normally hear on The Bachelor. This date had the normal Bachelor conversations of, like, I like you. No, I really felt something when I saw you after the limo. It's like, you've been here 5 weeks. We're still talking about the limo? Like, that means they want to fuck. She's going to she's going to stay for a while because they got to shake this out and see what happens in the sheets. That's my opinion. So Rachel gets a rose. We move on from Rachel's date. We're going to go to a group date, and we're going to the farm. I like the farm date because I like any date that takes them out of their element. We got Farmer Todd there. He's got his finger up a rooster's butt. They're kissing the rooster. They're finding the eggs. It's enjoyable. Matt James is on a kissing spree. He's kissing Piper. He's kissing everybody. He's chasing women around. This is where we see active Matt James. We leave the farm date, and we get to the part where it's like, MJ is going to get a talking to because MJ thinks she escaped the bully purge, but he says to her, hey, I heard some things about you, kind of calling it varsity versus JV. This sets MJ off because MJ, it is a funny thing. When you think, like, if MJ had been called out that first rose ceremony, it would have just been sussed out. She would have been sent home. But because she wasn't, she thinks she got away with something, and now it's someone trying to pull her back into the drama. When that's not the case. It just so happens that her drama happened later. But you can tell MJ's leg to stand on is, you're trying to bring down my character because you're bringing up something that's already been discussed. And that's not the case. Matt James is just discussing it with you when he has the time with you. So MJ's not happy about this. There's some talk about this. So whatever. So now we go to, we're going to go to Kit's date. Kit is going to get a one-on-one. And Kit's one-on-one is going to be in the kitchen making cookies. Now, I like Kit because she admits my mom is a famous person and I've been living a famous lifestyle, which I enjoy. But don't tell me you guys have been in the kitchen your whole lives. Yeah, you've been in a kitchen that looked like it was out of, a Nancy Meyers movie where there's kitchen porn. Like, you lived in New York City with a kitchen that had a Viking range. Like, and there might have been a chef there. So it's like, for you to be like, the secret ingredients of cookies. Like, no, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, okay? We don't need to hear this. I stick with, I'm on runways, I drive Bentleys, not like, oh, I love a night in the kitchen. Come on, we don't buy it. The one thing that happens on this date is Matt James announces that sometimes he'll go out for dinner and order cookies first before dinner. He'll order dessert before dinner. I would hate that. That's not true. Nobody orders dessert before dinner. That's not something he does. He might have done it once, but that's not what people do. If I was on a date with someone, they're like, let's order dessert first. I'd be like, no, we're going to order 3 appetizers. We're going to get 2 mains. We're going to split each other's mains. And then maybe we'll get dessert at the end after we don't think we should get dessert because we're too full. And then we're going to make ourselves sick. And then we're not going to touch each other after this date. That's a normal date. A normal date does not start with dessert. It ends with dessert, and it ends with 2 people on either side of the bed not touching each other. So don't tell me that you guys are, I get dessert first sometimes. No, dessert is meant to be enjoyed in an unenjoyable way. We get to the end of the episode. MJ and Jessenia are set up to face off because it is made out to be that Jessenia told Matt James that MJ, split this thing into varsity versus JV. I don't really know how Jessenia got involved in this. It was kind of confusing. It seemed like they just plucked someone out to go against MJ. And MJ just talks down to Jessenia. Like, MJ makes herself very unlikable. She's sitting there going, well, her big quote is, I lead by example. And it's like, I don't even know what that means in this context. So she gives this whole speech. She's wearing big hoops, big energy. It's time for me to take her out. And it's like, I don't really buy it. And that's where we end the episode. Let's give out some awards. This is the Batches. I give out, on the Batches, I give out roses to my favorite characters, and I give out divorce papers to my least favorite characters. Let's start with the roses. Matt James is going to get the first rose. I love that Matt James took control of the house tonight. And I do believe that is a responsibility of the Bachelor or Bachelorette. Whoever's the lead, it is because the producers can't tell him hey, get rid of this person, they're mean. Well, maybe he likes a mean girl. Maybe he's attracted to her. So he got word and then immediately went in for the great bully purge of 2021. My next rose is going to go to Victoria. I'm always going to give credit to someone who's consistent. Victoria was a monster until the end. She fought the same way every time, never changed her story, always stuck with the lie, and even on the way out, she tells Matt it's his fault that she's sending her home. And it's like, if you're going to be consistent, you might as well be consistently bad. My last rose is going to go to Kit. I love that Kit told her story. I love that she told her story about her mom being a famous person and being used to the limelight. Like, I love that she owned that. It is funny that she tried to turn it into a tragic story afterwards. She was like, with my mom being so successful, it's so hard to get in touch with your feelings with the $1,000 an hour therapist that I've been going to since I've been 6 months old. Okay, come on. There's people with real problems in this house. Someone has a mom that's my age in this house. I understand what Kit's doing. She's got to give a story, but I'm happy she owned her story. Let's give out some divorce papers. The first divorce paper is going to go to the producers. The Cinderella date never works. I'm going to give you a makeover. I'm going to spoil you today. It's always a little weird. It's always not true to life because Matt James isn't on here. He's not Jeff Bezos. Like, there's no life lessons to be learned from this date. Matt spending money that isn't his on you. Like, of course, yeah, have whatever you want. Like, yeah, what is that? How is that Matt James showing his personality or his date? To me, it was Matt James looking at a girl he's attracted to in different dresses to see how attractive she is in each dress. So it's not a date that really gets me to know the characters. All it does is put us in this unreality that they'll never live in again. The second divorce paper is going to go to Matt's kissing. It seems to be getting worse. Matt's kissing, he has now gone from leading with his forehead, opening his eyes, and now he's making a suction noise with every kiss. He has added worse things onto his kisses. So now he goes in, and now he's sucking. And it's like, dude, we need a kissing coach. That should have been the date. Instead of having Beyonce's stylist, have a kissing coach on. Give him a pillow with the face of a woman to like do some practice smooches on. The last divorce paper is going to go to MJ. MJ, just an awful display. And I liked you when you first came on the show, and now you've gotten worse every week. You bullied, and now you're looking for outs to make it so it's everyone else's fault but your own. You created this new hashtag, lead by example, which doesn't even make sense with the scenario that you're in. I don't know, how are you leading by example? How does saying, I lead by example? I'll say this, MJ reminds me of a mom who defends herself because she's a mom. She'll go, like a mom who's like, as a mother, I will not be told how to raise my kid. MJ went into that mode. She was like, I lead by example, and that's why you shall not tell me I'm a bully. It's like, no, you were in on this whole bullying game. You were the one telling the new girls that they had to do some sort of pledging to be able to deserve time with Matt, when that's not the case. Everyone was the same in this show. You're the puppet. They're the puppeteers. It's not how it goes. You did this to yourself, MJ. Let's ask some questions. Before the show, I asked you to do hashtag Ask Jared with any questions you have. Let's see the first one. Do we have any? Is Katie going to be the new villain for this home stretch before we get into the Final Four? No, I think what's going to happen with Katie is she is Matt's friend, not his lover. There is no sexual chemistry between those two characters. You could see it when she reported to Matt James, hey, there's a bad vibe in the house. He went in with the most we're buddies from homeroom hug I've ever seen. He was like, oh, thank you for letting me know. Cool. See you in homeroom. And release. It wasn't, and with Rachel, you saw it on Rachel's date, that is sexual chemistry. They were, jonesing to get with each other. So I think what's going to happen to Katie is she's always going to be the reporter for the school newspaper. So people will get annoyed at that, but she will not become a villain to the audience at home. Let's go to the next one. Who is your top three? Top three right now, Michelle, Abigail, and I would say Rachel, just based on tonight and kind of how he's pushed the, you could tell Matt's there for the physical as well as the mental. So I think Rachel's going to be sticking around. Do we have another one? Who is your dark horse to end up with Matt? Who's someone we're not talking about right now? I guess if I was to pick someone that will stay longer than we think she would, I think Brittany's going to stay a while. And I agreed with Matt tonight. He said the minute she got bullied, she went from confident person to sulking down. And it's like, I want to see that Brittany that we saw that was sticking her tongue down his throat in the beginning when she came out of the limo. So I'm hoping for Brittany. Let's do one more. Which girls bought GameStop stock? I would assume that most of them thought that GameStop was a place with a ball pit where kids have their birthday parties. I would assume that most of them did not have and I don't think all of them were privy to the GameStop knowledge. If anyone, I would just say, I would think so. Victoria definitely bought late. She seems like the type to be like, I bought in, and it's at the top of the market. That's our show. That's the Rose Rehash. We're here every Monday after The Bachelor. Make sure you comment. Make sure you subscribe. Come out to the digital show in 2 weeks. Back next week. Boom.